So I'm Shannon. I'm with Arise Home Education. We have been in the online Christian education sphere we've just entered our second year of education and teaching online. And I just want to tell you a little bit about us and who we are. Since we're so new, we've heard lots of scripture. We've learned a lot about the why of Christian education. And I just want to give you a new perspective on how to do home education and Christian education. So who we are, I'm one of the co-founders along with Emma Cummings, which some of you may know. And we are, I have to step forward so I can see it a little better. Okay, so we're a group of home educating families whose guide is the Bible, and we use it as our compass to help you build strong foundations and create life-giving, nurturing Christian learning environment in your home. That's our goal, and that's who we are. So our vision is to provide an unforgettable Christian home education experience by providing affordable online courses and online digital resources that align with both the UK exam model, the US qualification model. And then our mission is to equip and encourage Christian families in their home education journey, excuse me, by providing the online classes and home education resources for the secondary age group. And primarily that because we found that online education for the younger ages is not the best learning environment, not for a full-time environment especially. So this is the group of us so far. We started last year with 2 tutors. We are now up to 6. And we provide, all our tutors have an evangelical Christian background and bring Christ into their classroom at every opportunity they can in every lesson, within the homework that they set for the week with their students. And the primary piece I want to talk about today is how do we educate from a Christian perspective in the home education realm in the 21st centuries. Are we all literally sitting around with textbooks and pencils and tablets and that kind of thing with a chalkboard over the kitchen table or over the fireplace or something like that? No. Many families, especially at the secondary level, are moving beyond that, and we're assisting those families in doing that and providing not only a quality Christian education, but an education that's going to take their child into the 21st century workforce and career path of their choices. We use what is called, some people will call it the SAMR model or the SAMR. I have a tendency to say SAMR method, where when using technology as a tool of learning, okay? So we look at substitution, augmentation, modification, and redefinition as ways to take learning to that next level with technology. So with substitution, you can see it says there that technology acts as a direct substitution for traditional methods, so something in place of a textbook. And then augmentation is when technology improves the traditional approach to that education. Modification being technology allows for significant task redesign. And then redefinition is, excuse me, technology enables new tasks previously inconceivable. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So this has got a lot of words on it, so bear with me with that, okay? So what we do is we create immersive, interactive experiences that enhance learning in ways not possible in a conventional classroom or even homeschool setting. We don't just teach content, we develop critical thinking, problem solving, and digital literacy skills that are crucial to your teen's future. So when we're looking at the SAMR model here, you can see some different ideas there on how, what substitution looks like practically. So you can see it could be simply using Google Maps to explore and understand longitude and latitude. It could be, instead of a handwritten test on paper, with paper and pencil, a Google form for a test or an online exam. When you look at augmentation, an example would be something like videos that simulate meteor impacts on Earth and the Moon. Another example would be applications that allow us to access locations on maps and then to store specific information about the location, like current events that the students have studied during their weekly work. And then when we get to modification, you can see they're using different applications and softwares to create maps. And even the second one under modification there says, this is actually one of the assignments coming up for my son at the end of his first semester class this year. He needs to create a video that is designed to answer a spiritual or philosophical question that his friends are asking today. The target audience for the video is to be their friends or family, and the goal is to encourage them to build them up in their faith. They should be happy to share it with their friends and family, but they're also reminded they need their parents' permission on social media. Finally, what happens here with when we teach as tutors to these first three, and we're infusing what we're teaching with Scripture, with Christian worldview, we find what happens in the redefinition place is what happens with the students learning at this point. They take and they see a project like the one just mentioned, and they take it to that next level to redefine what, in this case, what does my Christian education and my Christian values look like in my world, and how do I exercise that? And how do I prepare and learn about that? And so that's how we go about it with the different subjects that we teach over the course of things. So here's just some examples, just from the last few weeks of classes, where just examples of, this is just a math class, just a little report on what was happening in maths and how they were using Desmos and GeoGebra, which I don't teach the math class, so I don't really know what those are, I'll be honest. But they're great online things because I failed math. I was so horrible at it. But I think if I had had a little bit more technology to help me understand and be able to conceptualize the different pieces, I could have done much better. So we're infusing tech with our technology and our Christian worldview concepts and values into each of our lessons. So here's another one where we were taking a look at just the differences between the Earth and the Moon and the similarities, and just discussing what was the favorite concept or aspect of that. And then in the high school, we have a logic and debate class, which is high school apologetics. And they went and talked about breaking down arguments and looking for their underlying premise. And that once the students knew how to evaluate an argument and look at their underlying premises, they could easily refute that argument. All right? And so these are the kind of arguments that we're looking at. They're looking at scientists and great thinkers and atheism versus Christianity. And they pull out, we got to use Spurgeon in there and look at quotes from Spurgeon and how he essentially refuted the arguments. And I brought this slide up simply because what's happening in this logic and debate class with the high school apologetics is laying the groundwork for next semester for so many of these kids, because they're looking in this first semester, they're having a brief lesson from Mere Christianity based on a quote from C.S. Lewis and working that into a single lesson. Yet that lesson is building a foundation for next semester, where they're going to look at modern British history and modern British literature of C.S. Lewis and looking at history in that modern era in which he lived and which he wrote about. And so those are ways where we understand the why. We see we need to make a change, but we want to make sure that as we make that change, we are providing for our children a way to step into the community and the world in a way that's relevant to them, and also preparing them to be the witness for Christ that we want them to be and that God calls us to be. So we take things like looking at the Merchant of Venice and bringing in the biblical themes that are there as well. And with art and design, we're just teaching them just the beauty of creation and how to express that, and to be influenced by godly expression and by godly tutors that are teaching how to express their creativity in a God-honoring way. So when we journey together, we're seeing improved skills. We're seeing satisfaction, not just from the parents, but also from the students. And we're seeing intention that our students are recognizing going forward that not only do they need this, that they want others to see that the classes that they're taking with us are providing and preparing them for life beyond secondary age and into university and whatever God calls them to. So we're uniquely positioned to work with you in your homeschool, in your co-op community, or in your learning hub at a secondary level. And our goal is to cultivate a love of learning whilst pursuing the UK exam or the US qualifications. We're growing. And so I want to just share with you that the top part is what we already have going. And then you can see in bold and in green where we are adding next year and then hopeful to hire. We're looking for tutors and teachers that are qualified within the subject to fill the things you see there. And we're praying into that, and we hope that you'll pray into that with us. And if you know others that are experts in those fields, we would love to speak with them. We support the home education community with online classes, tuition, textbooks and workbooks, self-paced courses, academic coaching, and podcasts, because we recognize that it is a journey. Some people call it a marathon. I don't necessarily like that term because I know I could never run a marathon. And I know I probably never will run a marathon. But can I do a pilgrimage? Yeah. Can I stop along the way? Can I journey with somebody else? Absolutely. And so that's what we provide for the Christian home ed community, to help you understand how it could be a good fit for your family, how you can transition from state school into home education, or how you can move from primary education into secondary education with your kids wherever they're at, and how you, just like with everything else, God will make a way. He will make provision, whether that's financial, logistic, with just career schedules and that type of thing, or actually the ability to teach and choose the subjects that are going to inspire your kids and your family. And being able to know when to partner with somebody else in that might be able to inspire your child better than you are, but has that same Christian value that you want supported through that. So I just hope that you'll come and talk with me more about what we offer with the UK exam approach and also the US qualifications approach. It's a great approach that is allowing a lot of home educated students, and a lot of the Christian home educators don't know about it, but you can get into university with US qualifications. So my daughter actually goes to university just down the road. She got into University of Aberdeen with an unconditional acceptance for archaeology based on a US transcript. Not because I'm American, not because she's American, but because she proved her education, and the model in which she chose to use was a blend of information and work from UK curriculum and US curriculum in some cases, but primarily UK curriculum without sitting exams, but choosing to show her proof of education with the transcript. And it is a viable method, and it's what I specialize in helping families understand and see if that's going to be a good fit for them. So thank you, and I look forward to talking to you over at our stall.